Good morning, Ghana. Man, good to be back again, like we never went away.
It's a weekend.
Waking up was very, very
Well, it's Bright's weekend.
Yeah, it's a weekend.
I'm imagining what Amma would have said if she were here.
That's what
Amma would say,
good morning.
They have a bright future.
She's on a 1 week maternity leave, so she'll be back next week.
She had a pregnancy via Skype.
Okay. She's back next week. Just 1 week maternity leave. We granted her that. We want her to get closer to her baby. So she's back next week.
Yeah.
But good morning. Thanks so much for staying there. It's another Thursday. A wonderful weekend has just started for me, right? And I'm sure some of you too. But the rest, tomorrow is the beginning. My name is Bright. Johnny is here. The man we call Starboy is also here.
Starboy, George Quinn.
In a world where you can be everything, just be kind. It costs nothing to be kind.
Philosopher.
It's good to be kind. It's good to be kind
and
share what you have.
It depends on the kindness that you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, but Johnny, I mean, these days, how do you find just a few people will do it without any strings attached? But it is good to share what you have, at least if it's a few cities here and there or something to help someone. It's not bad at all.
So if that's the case, I'm wondering why we have not had a lot of kind people come to help Richmond. He's 19, he has a hole in throat. His surgery was supposed to have been in May. It is August now, and he still hasn't found the money.
Because he has to raise the money.
Yes, and let's see social media.
How much does he need?
We've had. Oh, please keep quiet.
No, I want to.
No, but George can.
Keep quiet, and let me talk to the kind people out there. Because you've been here with me, I've been raising money for this boy. You are not minding me.
But Johnny,
So far we have raised 10,000.
So George can even
give it to me now.
When you're done.
Look at this boy. Right. But I mean, let's go back to the Tamale Teaching Hospital, and I was going to talk about Richmond.com. So the mobile money number is 054-905 0260. That's 054-905 0260. Please send your contributions. He needs the money to live. He says he wants to be a doctor to save lives. 054-905 0260. Please support with anything you can, because we're at 10,000. We're looking for 5,000 CDs more to get the 15,000. We've gotten all 4 pints of blood, so we're ready on this side. On your side, yes, we have not seen. So if you're a big man out there, you're a big woman out there, you're a schoolboy, schoolgirl, whatever it is, please support Richmond.com. I beg you.
He wants to be a doctor, but we need to save his life first, and then he can save the life.
He can't eat through his throat, so he eats through a tube on the side. That's not so pleasant, and he can't eat any solid food. So doctors say he's become malnourished, and you need to help him. 054-905 0260. Please help. Everything, and once you send the money, it goes directly to them. It doesn't come to us. It doesn't come to me. 054-905 0260. Good morning.
All right. So the package is exciting. A couple of interviews. We'll be ranting from Tamale. Steps being taken there.
The mayor of Tamale put in measures to chase people off the smoking areas, the hawkers, and everything else. He said he stopped. The people are wondering why he stopped.
Oh, okay.
Because once he started those things, criminal activities were perhaps, if it was ongoing, we wouldn't have had the Kandahar boys go to the Tamale Teaching Hospital, and then we wouldn't have had the CEO chased out. But yesterday, funny enough, the police picked up 4 suspects, and paraded them before the officials or staff of the hospital. And they said, well, those were not the guys. And I found it quite hilarious. Ghana Police Service, the boys who did the raid, who went there to chase out the CEO, were on national TV. Their pictures were all over.
Going for interviews as well.
They were on social media. Their pictures are all over. So why did you pick those 4 suspects who were not involved in the activities in any way? The people whose faces showed on the TV and in the videos and in the photos, you don't know them, you didn't see them, you can't identify them, and then you pick these 4, and then when the boys threatened that in 1 hour you should release the boys, they got released onto the street. Really?
I counted about what I listened to the evening of the incident. I counted 7 radio stations that they spoke to. So certainly there was a phone line to whoever spoke.
The number is available.
So, I mean...
The telcos can trade.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly the point I'm trying to make here. And I saw their faces on about 3 TV stations. And then in the morning, I saw the young man's picture on my phone, yelling out, threatening that even if they send Jesus Christ and he doesn't perform, he will remove him. So you go and pick up people on the street for what?
I don't know.
But these doctors are waiting for the group to apologize. And so if we can see them,
then
the lives are going to be. But you see, the issue about tracking and tracing the form, there's a very serious syndicate going on now. If you go to the Kwame Nkrumah Circle and you want to acquire a SIM card and you don't have an ID card on you, they can register it.
They do it.
What they do is that George perhaps may have come to buy a SIM card. You give them your ID card. They pick your details and they registered your card. So they still have your details. And
so
then
they
use your details for me and for you. So if you try and trace it could be that you will go and arrest George, but George may be innocent. But here's a case where their faces have shown on TV like my face is showing on TV now. And you can't find them. Wow, Okumchola is a miracle.
All right.
IGP, good morning.
George is on the news this morning. It's a Thursday, the start of the weekend. Get excited. George will tell you what's up in the world of news. Stay here.
So news is up next here on your favorite morning show, New Day. Just stay. You can also watch us live on DSTV channel 279. And coming up, 4 suspected members of the group which forced out the CEO of the Tamale Teaching Hospital arrested and released 2 hours after the arrest. Roadmap towards lifting the ban on small-scale mining to be announced today, Thursday, August 16. National Association of Graduate Teachers NAGRA served notice its members will not work on weekends under the double track system. And on the foreign front, a Malaysian court tells women charged in killing of North Korean leader to enter defense. I'm George Quinn and this is news here on New Day. On to our very first story. 4 suspected members of the group which attacked the Tamale Teaching Hospital and chased out its chief executive officer, Dr. David Kobeba, were released 2 hours after the arrest. It's unclear the circumstances leading to their unconditional release, and the Northern Regional Police Crime Officer confirmed the release to TV3 after an identification by the Tamale Hospital CEO, Dr. Akobela, Wednesday evening. The group accused the CEO of incompetence and misuse of the hospital's funds. They also claimed he had neglected them despite the role they played in getting him appointed. Dr. Akobela was reinstated on Tuesday after RegSec unlocked his office and assured him of security. In February last year, another group in a similar fashion demanded the dismissal of his predecessor, Dr. Prosper Akambon. Our regional correspondent Zubaida Ismail is on the line and will be giving us updates shortly on this development. Good morning, Zubaida.
Good morning, George.
Zubaida, what reasons have been given on the release of these 4 people?
The police gave one major reason, and then the reason being that the CEO, who is the witness in this whole case, after his identification parade, mentioned that the 4 men that were being held by the police were not part of the youth that besieged his office. So with that, the police said then they have no case holding them when they were not part of the people that caused the mayhem, and so they had no option but to release them.
So, Zubaida, can you confirm that security has been provided the hospital and then the CEO?
Yeah, for the entire day yesterday, where I basically spent my whole afternoon, I noticed that police officers were at the hospital, but then they were not stationed at the entrance of the hospital. They were only stationed at the entrance to the CEO's office, which is on the second floor of the hospital. But then the doctors are demanding that police be stationed at the entrance, the police post be established at the entrance. So for that, that has not been done yet. But then the CEO's office, for that area, I could count not less than 5 police officers at the entrance of the CEO's office.
Zubeida, I know doctors have withdrawn their services pending apology from the group. Is that what it is still?
Yes. For the strike, the demands were that these men or these members of this youth group are arrested, and then also a police post established. And so once that none of these demands have been met yet, it means that the strike continues. And so today again, we are going to see doctors not working. We are going to witness patients being turned away because doctors are not ready to back out anytime soon, George.
Thank you very much, Zubeida Ismail. Zubeida Ismail is our regional correspondent, giving us updates on the attack on the Tamale Teaching Hospital CEO. And trust TV3 to keep you posted with updates in subsequent bulletins. And on to other news. The Finance Committee of Parliament is set to open a full probe into the circumstances leading to the collapse of 7 indigenous banks since 2017. Ranking member of the committee, Kesala Forson, said the modalities of the probe will be made available to the public in due time. He explained that the committee is yet to decide whether the intended probe will be open or whether it will be in camera. A civil society group, New Era Africa, NERA, had petitioned Parliament to conduct a bipartisan public inquiry into the recent banking crisis. According to NERA, the cost of 7 defunct banks in the past 1 year will be borne by people of Ghana. Hence, it will be prudent for the people's representative to probe the issues that led to the collapse of the banks. And still in the banking sector, government has denied claims that the recent measure of 5 local banks to form a consolidated bank is politically motivated. Addressing a news conference in Accra, Information Minister Designate Kojo Nkrumah said the move by the Central Bank has become necessary due to the distress in the financial sector.
Government has set up the Office of Ethics and Internal Investigations to interrogate the roles of persons at the Bank of Ghana who may have contributed to the collapse of the 7 banks. The office will also look at the systems at the central bank and come out with a more robust solution to the problems currently facing the banking sector.
Prosecutorial action against persons found culpable should be commencing soon. We have a history in this country where agencies conduct their investigation, present it to the prosecutorial agencies, and sometimes the courts have shut it down because the prosecutorial agencies did not do their own work and come up with their own dockets. So it's important that that is also done properly so that nobody goes to court to go and falter.
The Information Minister Designate said government believes that Ghana would have a strong financial services sector with strong indigenous banks.
The roadmap that was developed from about April 2017 when the new regulators of the central bank took over is a roadmap that allowed many of these organizations to submit recapitalization plans. But these plans have timelines, cannot go on in perpetuity, and that's why the bank at a point had to step in and allow a bigger bank to assume them, because the bank also couldn't keep pumping emergency liquidity assistance into it when the recap plans were not materializing and depositors were at risk.
If you're just tuning in, you're watching news here on New Day. We are live on DSTV channel 279. Away from the banking sector, let's shift to education, where chairman of the Ghana Education Service Council, Michael Nsowa, has refuted claims the licensing of teachers has been suspended. Speaking on 3FM yesterday morning with host Winston Amwa, he said a crucial meeting on Friday between the teacher unions and government would go into the merits and demerits of the matter.
The Ghana Education Service, GES, is advocating that teachers should pass a special examination after mandatory training before being granted a license to teach. The maiden examination is scheduled to start in September. Reports were rife on Tuesday that the National Teaching Council, NTC, had suspended the impending examination.
On Friday, there's a meeting.
Oh, okay.
So if anybody who made that announcement, you see, currently something letters and circulars are going on in the social media. One was even saying those who hold B.Ed, basic education should be redeployed to the basic primary school.
Yes, is that true?
That is not true. That's a fake letter. We've got one on social media on this track and so on and so forth. And they are all fake because the signature does not belong to Dr. Evelyn Owusu, who is the Executive Secretary of the NTC. So I don't know what is going on now.
Meanwhile, GES Council Chair says the processes to get additional 8,000 teachers to kickstart the double-track system would be completed this weekend.
Every school has a timetable organizer. Let me use that word. All these have been have come to Accra, region by region, to prepare their timetable and also give us the extra numbers of teachers in the subject areas for which they will need these teachers, so that we'll give them the teachers. Now we say we want around 8,000. It has to be subject specific. The fact that you hold a certificate doesn't mean if we don't need your subject area currently, then we are not going to. We are going to be very selective.
The need for additional teachers has become crucial following plans by government to implement a double-track system for senior high schools.
And still on education, the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, says it will not allow its members to work on weekends as proposed in the free senior high school double-track system. According to NAGRAT, although it supports the system, it will resist any attempt to get its members working extra hours because it's against the labor law.
The General Secretary of the Association, Samuel Frank Dadzi, was speaking at the Daily Graphic Star Ghana Dialogue on Educational Policy in Ghana. Raising several concerns about the policy, Frank Dadzi expressed disappointment over lack of consultation on its implementation. Speaking on the theme, unpacking the double-track system, implications for sustainable financing and prospects for educational quality in Ghana, he questioned the kind of free senior high school that the country wants to achieve by the introduction of the double-track system.
Any 7 normal days of work, you are entitled to 48 hours of rest, and teachers will insist on that. We will not work on Saturdays and Sunday. We support the free SHS. In talking about quality, I've pointed out the role of the teacher. Now we are asking the teacher to stay in for 8 hours, forgetting that it is not just what you deliver, forgetting that you have to take students on excursion, forgetting that you have to give tests, assess students, forgetting that you have to mark exercises, you have to get to the school before the school starts.
Former Deputy Director General of the GES, Charles Ahetochega, argued that not much thought went into the design of the free SHS, hence the problems. In his view, the school placement system can address the challenges.
5 fingers that are on the hand, and they are all on the hand, isn't it? But if you look at my 5 fingers, they are not all the same. Now, for me, that is how we should run our secondary schools. We have everybody finishing BEC wanting to go into secondary school. We need them all in secondary school, but they cannot all go to the kind of schools. We should now find a way of placing them in the specific areas so they fit.
Director of Programs at CDD, Dr. Franklin Odro, said the discussion has become necessary to ensure that access to schools corresponds with quality. The PRO for the Conference of Heads of Private Secondary Schools, Naftali Cheba, argued the private sector schools have the facilities and are ready to absorb the excess students for which government is introducing the double-track system.
Most private schools have collapsed, and as we speak, meanwhile they have the facilities to absorb over 2,000, close to 3,000 candidates, but they have collapsed. What are they using those facilities for? Meanwhile, we have other students in public schools that have been overpacked.
The Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei Edichum, was emphatic private schools would not be considered in this regard.
We can continue to have dialogue in any way, shape, or form that we can help the private sector to thrive. It is the best interest of the ministry to do that, and we'll continue to do that. But double track is here, and we cannot send any student at this time to private school.
Other participants questioned the lack of clear exit plan, but the minister insisted the system would be phased out when adequate infrastructure is provided.
And a roadmap towards the lifting of the ban on small-scale mining is expected to be announced today. That's August 16. A statement issued by Deputy Minister for Information indicated the ministerial committee has completed its assignment after a year of comprehensive work.
The roadmap would outline measures to regulate the activities of small-scale miners and guide their operations. The ban on small-scale mining, which has been in force since January 2017, was as a result of years of extensive devastation of forest farmlands and river bodies through mining activities, particularly galamsey operations. The ban was initially for 6 months but had to be extended as government maintained it was seeking appropriate strategies to regulate the sector and refine operations. The Inter-Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining was constituted in March last year with the mandate to enforce the ban and develop a comprehensive roadmap to guide the activities of small-scale miners to ensure sustainable mining and protect the environment.
And now to the foreign front, where a Malaysian judge on Thursday ruled that a trial against 2 women charged with the murder of the estranged half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un would continue and asked them to enter their defense. Indonesian Siti Aisyah and Dion Thi Huang, a Vietnamese, faced the death penalty on charges of murdering Kim Jong-nam by smearing his face with VX, a nerve agent banned by the United Nations at a Kuala Lumpur airport on February 13 last year. Judge Azmi Arifin accepted the prosecution's case that the women, in common intention with 4 individuals still at large, had caused the death of Kim Jong-nam. I must therefore call upon them to enter their defense on their respective charges, he added. On that note, we end news here on NEWDAY, but you can get more news updates on our website, 3news.com. I'm George Quinn. Thanks for watching. NEWDAY continues right after this break. Good morning.
Welcome back. Let's check out the front pages. Newsday starts us off. It says, revealed Capital Bank refunds 255 million Ghana cedis. It comes with a photo of Atuesian, founder of the Capital Bank. And banking sector blues, CEO's warning, audible and all ignored. And Northern region falls for sly NDC presidential race. And many stranded as TTH nurses, doctors down their tools. Arrest the boys, I'm sure they're saying. The Daily Graphic says 13 E-blocks come on board 2018-2019 academic year. Photograph of the Deputy Education Minister, Dr. Edichum, who says there's no space for private schools. And inflation drops to 9.6% in July. SHS reopened September 8, and banner headline says, we'll go after bank fraudsters. Government says so. Okay, we won't compromise our sovereignty over GFA impasse. Interesting. So it means that, well, the ban is lifted, Zenyatiji comes back. Think about it. The Daily Statement, see full list of double-track senior high schools and 8 billion Ghana cedis banking scam. How these men failed Ghana. Photograph of Dr. Ishaku, former governor of the Bank of Ghana, Setekpe, former finance minister, and Dr. Wampa, former governor of the Bank of Ghana. Stop praying for the dead, professor tells Anglican Church. Okay, we should stop praying for the dead. We hear you. The Independent newspaper, the New Independent newspaper, another fatality at Incarrier Government Hospital as negligence of medical staff kills pregnant woman. Police arrest 6 Kandahar boys over Tamale Hospital attack. Have they been released? Yes. Otabel and Co. to face court as Bank of Ghana threatens to begin civil action against them. And Volta Chiefs dump John Mahama as they declare support for Bagman. He is a good man, they charge. And sack absentees, MCs, and declare seats vacant. Economic fighters front charges. The laws are clear on that, but if they get permission from the speaker, we'll go sack them. Daily Guide. Amidu's office picks chairman. And Spio lobbies for Mahama running mate. How Capital Bank blew 620 million Ghana cedis. The inside story. Photo of Atue Sien. Yesterday, we were supposed to have had a press conference that was called off the last minute. Why? We don't know. MPP boys nabbed in Tamale. 4 MPP boys nabbed in Tamale. The Today newspaper says fear grips government over fever's ban threat. Stories on page 3. Photo of Sports Minister Isaac Isiama. And Mahama's e-blogs not abandoned, says Dr. Educhum, Deputy Minister. And WTC hosts 2021 General Assembly of WTC, World Trade Association. Interesting there. Okay. The Ghanaian Times reports this morning that education infrastructure challenges. Government will fix it with 1.5 billion cedis. And business community kicks against implementation of CTN system and prosecute corporates involved in financial sector scandals. Occupy Ghana, that's Ace and Kuma there. And police arrest 4 Kandaha boys as hospital staff lay down their tools. Again, the boys have been released because the hospital says these were not the ones who came to sack our CEO. BNFT, mobile money accounts outstrip population. Okay, consumers tend to mobile as banking sector reforms continue. Is that a way to go? You tell me. Parliament summons Bank of Ghana, the Ministry of Finance. Okay, and inflation slides to single digits of 9.6%. The Finder, the Business Finder, that is, SDG's health sector indicted or indicted, for not mapping targets, and BOG sets up office to probe staff. Inflation drops to 9.6%. That's about it here for our headlines. Interesting, right? I see the papers reporting that 4 persons have been arrested in connection with the Tamale Teaching Hospital, situation. Yeah. But they are not telling us that the people have been released because the hospital says these were not the very people who came to sack our CEO.
I think they went to bed early.
They went to bed early.
The papers, those
the press went to
that
bed
they've been arrested went to bed early, and so they couldn't get the release side of the story. But I said, I don't know. But for me, how to bring these guys on strike back to work is a worry now.
The doctors are making a certain demand. The Ghana Medical Association is telling the government not to reward such hoodlums, because once it rewards them by not arresting them and prosecuting them and perhaps not looking for them, it will charge other people to go in there and go and foment their own troubles. We know the people. We saw their faces in the videos. Mr. Bruce Derry, you're a lawyer as well. You're a Minister for Interior. Good morning to you. This is happening under your purview, under your watch. It is not good. We saw them. We saw the videos. And even this morning, we have shown the videos on television with their faces clearly, showing in them. How then do you go and pick 4 people who were not part of it, and then you will hold them as suspects? Is that what we do?
The other news is that public health facilities in Tamale, we have news. We're picking up information that health professionals
they are joining in.
Yes, threatening to join the strike, and that's very worrying. If you take a look at, I think, the Daily Graphic on page, Daily Guide on page 18, the Northern Regional Minister is actually begging the health workers to return to work and suggested that all they're asking for will be done, including the sighting of a police post there so that they return to work.
Is that the solution?
But you see, and that's for me isn't the solution. I mean, we need to, at a point in time, deal with some of these issues decisively so that we don't go back talking about them. I'm not too sure if at the end of the day these workers return to work and these men, I don't know whether they're men or boys, who were involved in this are not punished, we're likely to see this stopped.
Yeah.
I think if they're not punished tomorrow, the guys will go back.
Look,
again,
and I'm saying that since the MPP took over power, we have had in different forms, whether Kandaha boys or invisible forces or vigilante, whatever groupings they are. We have had them go to the Kumasi National Security Office and chase out the National Security Coordinator, who's a direct appointee of the president. So it means that they chased out the president. Then they go to the law court. You remember that as well? And then the judges were under attack. And then now they are in the Tamale Teaching Hospital. So where is next? Who is next? Which organization is next? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. And you see, each time these things happen, we try and find a way. This morning, you will have a representative of the MPP. I pray that we will not have the NDC politicize it and say, you are in government, look at what you are doing. Right. And we don't have the MPP come and say, oh, but when you were in government, you did even worse. If we don't punish it, the equalization is bad. The politicization of our security is bad. Nobody should entertain it, because I say again, yesterday I said it, if power changes hands and you no longer walk within the corridors of power, would you have the safety and security that today others don't have? Think about it. Good morning.
Right. Yesterday, the Deputy Education Ministers attended the Star Ghana program. A lot of fallout there, one of which is and he spoke on TV3 and said that there's no way government is going to post students to the private schools. I think that I totally disagree with him, and I'm sure it is a government policy. So I totally disagree with government on this issue. Look, the figures are there. Government has never been able to put out any counter argument about what the private schools are saying. If you look at them, look, they said that, look, you have 181,000 people you are struggling to place. Now the private school says that we have 250,000, we can absorb 250,000 students. Yeah. Okay? And they suggested that, look, if you post 500 students to each of our schools, this problem will be resolved. Government has never come up with any argument, counter argument. All that government is saying is that, oh, we are talking to them. No,
we are negotiating with you in every shape and form.
Yeah, and you heard him say on TV3 that there's no way government will post any students there. Without any reason. Government has not said any reason. Okay? All that he said is that they had no plans to enroll students in private schools.
You see, last year when the list came out, the private schools were not even included in the list where the students could actually choose from. So the computer placement system ignored the private schools. And I'm saying that, look, cast your mind back to 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 12 years ago, when the traditional schools had a blockade and the private schools came to the rescue. There are so many, the Ideal College of this world, the Insanya Business School of this world, the Prince Boateng's of this world. Name them. Name the schools.
So many of them.
So they came to help. They came to assist in the situation. If 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, they were able to assist, and the Ghana Education Service has authorized them to function, why can't we have them as part? So government says it is not accepting it. But then if I go to school there, government will be able to say that I should come and work for government. Does it make sense? Does it in any way make sense?
Johnny,
it doesn't make sense. No, I think that government is being ungrateful, first of all, to the private schools. Very ungrateful. Because when you didn't have the infrastructure, when you didn't have the money, they came in to sort you out.
Your aid.
Mind you, these people are private business people who may have gone for loans to set up these schools, to hire teachers. And you say what? You will not give them business. So what? They should they should strangle their businesses and die?
Johnny, there's a school, Daily Graphic is reporting that there's a school in the central region called Jabez Senior High School. It has a placement for 2,000 students, but it had been shut down. The story says that the buildings, the dormitories are now empty and the owner is thinking of what to do with it, suggesting that all those who were working there have also been thrown out of jobs. So for me, I would have loved to hear government say that because of A, B, C, D, we can't bring on board private schools.
Yeah.
But government has never issued any counter argument. All that it says, oh, we are talking to them. Oh, we are open to suggestions. And yet, we are told that we are not sending any students. So let's see how it goes. But I think we should be mindful of how many jobs we're also throwing out.
Exactly.
If yesterday, I think I was talking to a guy from the financial sector and he said, look, over 4,000 people in Ghana are going to lose their jobs due to the shake-up in the financial sector. Now, it is 4,500 people, okay? They have dependents, assuming that all of them look after 2 people.
Yeah.
Just multiply that if your arithmetic is good. And you see how many people will not have
anyway,
just
I mean, and for me, I've heard statements, I mean, from the Bank of Ghana and the Ministry of Finance, and it gladdens my heart that whoever is complicit, you know that initially the conversation was about the owners of these banks, the staff of these banks who are complicit. But now the conversation has been broadened to staff of the Bank of Ghana who were also involved will be dealt with.
Of course.
And it comes back to, it's not an individual's problem, it's a systemic failure. If whoever is head of banking supervision, whoever is head of monitoring evaluation, whoever is head of whatever it is, and it didn't perform their function well, we would have some of these situations. Fast forward, what remedies are we putting in place? We say we're doing reforms.
Not to repeat.
10 years ago, we did reforms, okay? And yet we had these situations. So we can have all the reforms in the world. If we don't have good gatekeepers, people who will ensure that these things are properly done, we will come back to the same thing. And we can't continue doing that. Look, 620 million cedis. Think about it.
Okay.
Think about 620 million. Think about what it can do for us.
From the newspapers. Now time to rant our affair.
Or rant. Let's say happy birthday to Komla Kluche.
It is his
yes,
birthday.
Komla Kluche's birthday. We'll buy him cat shawarma. And to Harriet Asumda as well. Is her birthday. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she shares the birthday with
our
Komla.
studio director.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why she likes Komla so much.
Yes,
okay.
yes. They are very good friends. You know? Yeah, it's
all right.
It's all good.
Okay, time to run. We're going to Tamale.
We're going to Tamale. We're asking a question. The mayor of Tamale, Musa Superior, he started an initiative of ridding the streets of, petty thieves and criminals and hawkers and all of that. But he said it stopped. And the people are asking questions. Why would you stop? Why is he stopping? Anyway.
Maybe he's afraid of some boys.
But speaking of being afraid of boys, if you're a big man in government and you call the IGP or any top police official and say, let the boys go, shame on you. Shame on you. You call them, you make the call, and you make the police look bad. Shame on you. If you're a policeman as well and you sworn to protect the state and somebody calls you and you allow illegality to continue, shame on you. Today, don't go to work. Shame on you. Let's go to Tamale.
The mayor of Tamale, Musa Superior, just when he assumed office, began some 3 major interventions here within the Tamale metropolis. One was to rid the Abuabo and Gumani forest of weed smokers and criminals. 2 was to clear hawkers off the streets of Tamale. And 3 was to arrest minors who were found still out after 10 p.m. Now, just about a month ago, the same mayor who had been applauded by the citizenry in Tamale took to Facebook to say that all these major interventions have been put on hold. Today on Daily Rant, we're going to ask whether people support his idea of putting on hold these initiatives.
I am disappointed. Because I am disappointed because I don't dance. But when he came out with these initiatives, I danced. I danced to the initiatives because they are going to rid our cities of danger, rid young people from danger, and then bring about discipline in Tamale, because we don't have discipline in Tamale. And he was the only mayor that we that came to power to say that, okay, let us restore discipline in our metropolis. And he started very well. So I am disappointed in him. I'm disappointed in the security agencies. I am disappointed in our traditional authorities. Yes, for not coming out
to because I'm also very disappointed. It's unfortunate with what is happening, because when he started that, it was a good initiative and everybody was on board. Come to think of this, we have an association called East Gonja Graduates Association. When we heard of this social intervention, we were very happy. So we even wrote a letter to his office recommending him that he should even extend this kind of
to your place when he is not the DCU for your place. No, so it is not possible.
As a mayor, he has that kind of right, because they have annual general meetings that they sit with all the district chief executive, all MCEs. Yes, he can put it on board there. That this is what I have started here, and I am challenging you so that
I am coming, gentlemen.
Yes,
I am not cutting you. I am not cutting you.
Yeah.
But then you just said something that everybody was in support.
Yeah.
His assembly members came out clearly to say no, they were actually trying to impeach him. And that is the reason why they said they are not
trying to impeach him. They were not trying to impeach him because of that.
Ena mumu bu atuagu enti na no so be obakofo so okase oso a ebe den ebe ginisem enti etwa se samre yi de ono aka nka amasamle members ni nyina yeden e support no wo hwe se ne mekan a hwe wo hwe wachi a eye speed ramp ni nyina hwe wo hwe ekwan so a chese ba bia ayebasa okwa aboabo a eho achoki wo ma opam wo ma wo mu nyina eba sisi a unya ba bi mpo na
the assemblymen they failed in their attempt to impeach him. He was exonerated. So we don't get it when he comes back to say that the assembly doesn't.
Do you suspect any political?
Even if it is political, we don't know. What we know is that after his Facebook post, the traditional authorities and the security agencies have been silent. The people of Tamale, we have been silent. It means that we were not happy.
Yeah.
But that is not supposed to be. We need to come out and give him our backing and ask him to get back to the street to help us.
Now, with regards to the Hawkers issue, look at what has happened at Ashama. The place is congested. And look at the accident which has happened and killed and even injured a lot of people. Look at the congestion. Communicable diseases. It can easily be spread to a lot of people.
All know that. Enu nti se wo nyina tena pavement so na se ka betwifo omo so a na se nipa duwu a wo ye mayo no wo abakora na ebeba wo nche no edu afrim e wo se wo se edu afrim ana wo hwe emofran so a da ne da nyina wo mo Wall Street so wo mo ride moto by heart no mo di kunkum amanfo no mo nya accident moto kin ne ade e wo se wo nyina oyi wo mfro ba sisi ojaye no hwe wo kotem wo batamale sisi ya anajo ebebo 12 kra na akwala a wanya 15 years na oda so e wo
na me ba ona ebi mo ka se enkwada no de ye se enye ono na oba kire se obi mba nkoda na wo dwen ho say
no because I think
on say obi atumi hwe obi ba obi atumi hwe obi ba enti o hwa titimire no a se wo ko titimire no a obi eba echi a obi tumi tene no samre mu sa na wo ka se wo samre entumi nye ba betumi ye adwuma because akola no say oman no anaso se kuro no e kan kuro no esan so kan mayo no edin say na ba se so obi ekotomo na akola bi kotomo na e ho adi na bebo ye ba ka se tamale mayo e na anya na adwuma yi anase tamale edin sa ya be bata no enti etwa so otumi agye na sa mmofra no nyina etumi free ho na o mutumi eda ntem because
so you see that he did wider consultation. He consulted widely before he started this thing. So I am actually disappointed in our traditional our chiefs in particular and the security agencies because look, they have a responsibility. He cannot do it alone. So we need to come out and they have the mandate. They have a responsibility to ensure that there's peace and security and discipline in Tamale. And Tamale is a problem when it comes to discipline. And we were very happy that he started this. And so look, you find children sleeping in the street. They are supposed to be in school. They are not in school. So he's working even with organizations trying to get children out of the street, and we are not.
Come out in the night and you see these children gallivanting and roaming on the street of Tamale. It sounds so pathetic. And with the
The mayor needs to get back. I mean, we are not happy. He needs to get back. People are very, very unhappy about what is happening.
Woman a congram, a coshy, not Debbie, Woma Baba than Robes, Ababa attack Yangasa. And this a marijuana, share and Nancy from now when and young be so no Casaman or some, and I say, I am for attack and a Chiamasa. When Nadia,
with the raiding of the forest, I think it has sanitized the place, the weed smokers. And now with living with the issue of the tramadol issue and all these things, yeah, it has even sanitized a lot of things in there. So we are just appealing to him. Whatever has happened, he should go underground so that he can unravel why all this thing is happening. So that as all of them, they should come.
He should know that not everybody will support him.
People are doing that. He shouldn't be able to do it, so that they can come back on a drawing board.
You've heard these voices. It's been daily rants right here from the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly. My name is Zubaida.
Right, welcome back. We have my guests already seated. The papers, education is big on today's newspapers. Times will fix $1.5 billion. Government will fix it, $1.5 billion. That's education infrastructure challenge. Deputy Minister of Education is also on the Daily Graphic, talking about the fact that the e-blocks, 13 of them will come on board 2018-2019 academic year. The Daily Guide follows the banking story, how Capital Bank blew 620 million cities. The Deputy Education Ministers Conference has a lot of issues. We'll take a look at infrastructure, and also the fact that Conference of Heads of Private Schools have been told that there is no way government will send students there. We'll also talk about that, and then teachers, if you go to Daily Graphic, page 41, teachers are suggesting that they will not work on weekends under the double track system. That's according to NAGRAT. So a lot of issues there we'll be dealing with. My guest is a member of parliament, one of them, member of parliament for the Mion constituency, Honorable Abdulaziz is here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hope you're doing great.
I'm good.
Welcome back. You've been missing.
Good to be back.
And a member of the NPP's team, Kamaldeen Abdullah, is also here. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing great.
Good morning, Bright. And good morning to my good brother. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Okay, so he's not only dodging TV3, he's also dodging you.
Yes, he's dodging me as well. You know,
in the case of Kamal, I can understand.
Okay.
You know,
I can understand what Praka Park can do to a good friend like Kamal.
Yo, really? you know when you are in a position, you run into hibernation. It's not really easy.
Oh, is that so? I thought that's where you have to be seen more.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, because then you need to appeal to the people. So.
Well,
all right.
And Kamal is hurrying back to opposition.
See, they got dazed after the elections, and ever since they've not recovered.
Okay, I'm grateful, gentlemen. Let's start our conversation. Now, let me take a look at the time this morning. On the infrastructure, we'll deal with about 4 issues with the Deputy Education Minister's press conference. So we'll be quick with each of the issues. First of all, let's deal with the infrastructure. On page 16, the story says that government is sourcing for $1.5 billion to address educational infrastructure. We're told that's for the senior high schools. Meanwhile, government has sourced close to $100 million from the Korea Exim Bank to kickstart the construction of school facilities. Deputy Education Minister Yaosei Duchum said this yesterday at a Star Ghana program in partnership with the Daily Graphic, the Ghana Center for Democratic Development and the Civil Society Platform. It was on the theme, Unpacking the Double Track System, Implications for Sustainable Financing and Prospects for Educational Quality in Ghana. So that's it. 500 million will be used to construct new facilities to address these challenges. So let's start from here. We'll be very quick so that we can touch on all the other issues that were raised at that particular meeting. Infrastructure. This is the commitment from government.
Well, good morning once again. Good morning to our cherished viewers. Bright, permit me to start with a very sad news here. We are in a state of mourning as a party. We lost the day before yesterday our regional director of communication in the Upper East. Yeah, Randy Agana. May he rest in peace. In fact, was such a hard-working gentleman he was, who has done a lot for the party in terms of the communication and all that. Again, we are mourning our father and eulogizing him as well, J.H. Mensah, a statesman, a stalwart of our great party. This evening, inshallah, is going to be, I think, service, okay, at the Christ the King church, and then also we're going to have the funeral arrangement from tomorrow going on. I would just want to say that the Lord give it and the Lord take it. Well, this morning, what is important to us as a nation, I've always said, is education. I sit here and attempt to speak English language because someone taught me and someone sent me to school to be taught. And in fact, someone dedicated his time or her time for me to get to where I am today. Honorable Aziz says here to do same because he had the opportunity of being taught as well. It means education can never be put aside. In building our nation, we should always focus in making sure that indeed the future generation are given what we expect, what is expected of us in terms of education given to them and all that. No doubt that when we had our flag bearer in 2008, then the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he came out with a promise and said, look, what is imperative to me, what is important to me, has to do with the education of our future generation in this country. Therefore, should I am given the mandate, I'm going to make sure education will be the key. And I'm going to make sure, indeed, that free SHS will become a policy in this country. From 2008, he's been consistent. Until 2016, when we gave him the mandate. Ghanaians gave him the mandate. True to his words, he's come out to prove that indeed that is what he wants to do. The doubting Thomases, like my good brother, Honorable Aziz, and some other people will come out to tell you, no. We don't need it now. We will not need it now. And hold that. It's progressive in the Constitution. 26 good years after we've had this Constitution, they're telling me we should go progressively free. 26 years? I don't know when again. So for me, the commitment the President of the Republic of Ghana has shown to making sure that our future generation are given a leeway, are given a correct footing to stand on and then move up, I think it could not have been more than apt. So clearly, we support it. Now, having implemented it, challenges were envisaged. It's obvious. Why? I remember when he was granted, and when BBC interviewed him some time ago, the element of cost came up as to how much had been put in place to ensure that should he's voted for, he'll be able to push such a massive policy for us. I mean, the answer couldn't come then. He said, look, when the time comes, I'm going to make sure I speak to the Ghanaian people about it and find a way. Now it's not about cost. The first budget came, we saw the Asempa budget, and clearly it captured the cost for free SHS, $400 million Ghana cedis plus. Second budget came over 300 million Ghana cedis plus. Okay, it tells you that the man has answered it practically or pragmatically, and we are there today. Still, little challenges. What are the challenges? Infrastructure, which we wanted to speak to this morning. The Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Izuchum, said it all. The government of the day has put aside or set aside over 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to ensure that infrastructure is provided. Again, governance is a continuity. And I would like to commend the NDC administration under President Rawlings for coming out with the GET Fund. Okay, today we have the GET Fund there. That was a vision, and that was a great one. We also have, if you like, our district assemblies, our Minister of Education and Directorate of Education to ensure that provision of infrastructure for our educational sector is clear. So I think that if the government of the day is coming out with such an arrangement, we should only welcome it. And again, admonish them again to make sure that we should walk the talk now. Let us ensure that we do not toy with our educational sector at all. When we say we're going to do this, let's do it and make sure we do it. So far, we've shown a level of some commitment. And so far, we've gone far with what we have said we're going to do, and we are still on it and doing it. The president, I remember when he was in Ashanti region, did say that, look, at a point, we would have to be forced to even make sure that free SHS becomes compulsory. At a point, it has to be compulsory for us to move as a nation. So, yes, unless my brother wants to sit here and tell me that education is not imperative, unless he wants to say that it's not important, unless he wants to say that the policy is not a lofty idea, that the Ghanaian child who is qualified to go to school doesn't deserve to go to school, therefore there should not be interventions to find out in the tentative everyone is in school. We've had the challenges of numbers.
Okay, wrap up.
Wrapping up, we've had challenges of numbers as well as a result of the lack of infrastructure, which the government is earnestly working on to fix. Now the challenges of numbers, what are we doing? That has seen the introduction of a double track.
We'll come to that.
And then we are on it. So clearly, I think the government is on course and the government is doing something for us. Let the people who say we could not have been able to do it continue to say we can do it, and we are doing it.
So $1.5 billion to be sourced, 100 million already secured from Korea Exim Bank, $1.5 billion to be borrowed from GET Fund. And these are all to go into infrastructure ahead of to get the double track system back to the normal or single track, if that's how you put it.
Brad, good morning. Good morning to my colleague Kamal, and good morning to our viewers. But you see, Kamal, even before I came in, you were making references to me. You were making your submissions. Go ahead with it. Even before listening to me, you were making references to what you think I would say. Now, as for what the Deputy Education Minister did, Dr. Chum, he's been a very active Deputy Minister. I think he's a champion for the Free Senior High School at the ministry. And sometimes I appreciate his hard work. But trust me, this government has been exposed monumentally for the failure in the educational sector. When you talk about the Free Senior High School, let us all agree, and let us be candid to the Ghanaian public, that the NDC never opposed Free Senior High School. We had a different approach to the entire process. Whilst we were advocating for Free Senior High School for all, at the same time, we thought that we needed to do that gradually. And so we said progressive introduction of Free Senior High School. And in fact, I will refer you to the 1992 Constitution. It was not for nothing that the framers of the 1992 Constitution used the word progressive, because they anticipated some financial challenges. And so we were looking at the issue from two angles. Deal with the infrastructure challenges and also progressively introduce Free Senior High School. Because we were in government and we knew the challenges that we were facing as a government. They were in opposition and all that they wanted was political power. And so what they did was to lie to the Ghanaian public.
Oh, really?
Today you are being exposed for all the lies that you told us you were in opposition. Coming back to the Free Senior High School, this was a policy that you promised for all. You and I are aware that today as we speak, second and third years are not enjoying Free Senior High School. Oh, it is a failure. No, you must be, you see, you must be humble enough to admit some of these things.
Let's not be that cheap.
You see, when you talk about Free Senior High School for all, for everyone, today you are aware, it's a matter of record, something you cannot deny, that it is only first years who are enjoying the Free Senior High School.
Okay.
What we are doing, what you are doing is what we pledge to do, progressive. That you must admit. Even with that, you have seen the challenges, not exposed by the NDC, but the media houses. We have seen the environment. We have seen our students sit on blocks to study. We have seen the challenges in respect of accommodation. You are battling with the free senior high school. Right. Government in the 2018 budget provided an amount of 1.3 billion Ghana cedis to cater for free senior high school. Just about a month or so ago, I had the privilege of engaging this same Deputy Minister for Education on the floor of Parliament on how much government had spent so far on free senior high school. They had, according to the Deputy Minister when he appeared before Parliament, government had spent about 554 million Ghana cedis on free senior high school. The academic year has ended. At least, government was supposed to spend somewhere around 818 million Ghana cedis. And so if you have spent about 554 million Ghana cedis, there's a deficit of about 300 million Ghana cedis that you haven't been able to provide. That would obviously affect equality. When the Minister for Finance, Mr. Kenuforiata, came to Parliament to present the media review, he indicated that government has spent about 884 million Ghana cedis on free senior high school. That did not even tally with what the Education Minister provided. And so you cannot even trust the figures of government. Go to the 2017 and 2018 budgets. Even the number of students that we have benefiting the free senior high school, you are unable to provide. You keep on giving conflicting figures. And so it tells us that you are either not committed to the program or you don't have the resources to do the program. Oh, really? And you must be able to admit that. You see, when we're in government, what we did was to deal with the issues of infrastructure. That's why President Mahama had initiated about 123 out of the 200 senior high schools that we had pledged. By the time we left office, 50 of them was completed and commissioned. Each of them absorbs about 1,500 students. As we speak today, your Deputy Minister is saying that 13 of those e-blocks you have completed. That even runs contrary to what the President says, that he can't see the infrastructure of President Mahama. Now your Deputy Minister says that you have completed 13 of the e-blocks that were started by President Mahama and the NDC. You have no record in respect of education. And you must be able to admit it. If you were to compare what you are doing to what we did when we were in power, we would dwarf you. And you know. In fact, let us go beyond even free senior high school. About 1,700 basic schools that were operating under trees were eliminated by President Mills, President Mahama. Tell me what efforts you have put in place since you came into power to construct even 1 3-classroom block.
And that's where we have this.
And that's the worry.
$1.5 billion, and that from
right. You see, even
government is sourcing.
Even Kamal didn't even get the story. Kamal says that government has provided 1.5 billion Ghana cedis.
Only $100 million has been secured.
Has been secured from Korean Exim Bank.
Yes.
$100 million has been secured from Korean Exim Bank.
$1.5 billion.
You are only thinking of sourcing a total of 1.5 billion US dollars to fix the challenges of education. You are planning to use 500 million for basic schools, another $500 million for senior high school infrastructure, and another 500 million US dollars for the tertiary education. It is just a dream. For now, it remains a dream. But I'm telling you that under the government of President Mahama, you are aware that we established a university in Sunyani, we established one in Ho, and we have started work towards the one in the eastern region. Over 1,700 schools eliminated under trace. 50 e-blocks commissioned, and the rest were between 70 to 90% completed. This is what we did. That is our achievements. You don't run the education ministry with propaganda. You are being exposed for all the lies that you told whilst you were in opposition. Tell me if you are aware that despite all the taxes that you have taken, despite all the unprecedented borrowing that we have done if we have been able to deliver a 3-classroom block anywhere in this country? And the answer is a big no. And that you must admit. And so, for us as a party and a caucus, we are committed to free senior high school. It was equally pledged in our manifesto. We had pledged to do the progressive introduction of the free senior high school. And today that's what we are doing, even though we are unable to do it well. The Ghanaian public have seen you, and trust me, even your own MPP supporters are so disappointed in what you are doing. Now you are talking about double tracking. It is nothing but a ship system, something that we abolished some years ago. You are coming to do a ship system that would affect quality. You are now asking teachers to work on weekends. Right. And who would pay them for that?
Right. Okay, we'll go there. But tie that into, yes, a quick one. Tie that into our next conversation.
You see, the man has been ranting for long. He said this, said that. What is important is that just come out and tell Ghanaians that you don't want free SHS and that Ghanaians don't deserve it.
That is the propaganda you want.
No, I'm saying that go and tell them that we in NDC. Listen to me. Oh, honorable. You see, I was very quiet.
When you want to put words into my mouth,
I was very quiet when you were making your submission. Respectfully.
If you can go on. He just said that the party is committed.
As I was. I'm saying that. Go ahead. NDC. Organize a press conference because you have the penchant of organizing press conferences.
You are joking with the lives of our school children. You are compromising the future of this country.
Honorable.
You are compromising the future of this country.
Right.
Right. Allow Kamal to go on so that we can. I want us to be discussing. He just said that
you want to make reference to me.
I'm saying that.
You must be candid. Don't tell.
I'm saying you should go ahead. I am interpreting what you said in your submission, and I'm saying just go ahead and tell Ghanaians that Ghana is not prepared for free SHS. Ghanaian citizens don't deserve free SHS. And that you want them to pay, just like you had what we call the killer policy in place called
the cash and carry. Just go ahead.
I'm now going to it. I'm going to it. Simple. Right. You see, Bright, we have a history in this country. Not too long ago, prior to the coming into government for the first time by the MPP, we had what we call the cash and carry system, which was a killer policy. We had promised when we come, because we have a feeling, and if we share in the plight of the people out there, when we come, we will institute a mechanism that will allow them to access health care. Trust me, when we came, we did it. And in fact, the same people who even walked out of parliament and said, look, Ghanaians don't deserve NHIS. Later on, when they came to even argue that we started with mutual one. Now they have made it universal. No problem. Today again, coming into government, we say free SHS is important. Let's educate our masses, our young ones. Again, they are here. Hey, you are not giving it to all. You are not doing XYZ. What is important and material is that there is a policy in place called the free SHS now. That Ghanaian child who is qualified to go to school we are seeing to it that child will be in school and the future of that person will be guaranteed.
Do you deny the fact that it is not all?
Well, it's not all.
It's not every child in senior school.
When I made my submission, obviously we've never had 100% everyone going in school.
Okay.
But the numbers have reduced. You see, he sat here and was citing inconsistency in numbers and figures. 33, 46, 50 are different figures. He sat here and said 50 of the E-blocks have been completed. There are communicators of NDC who will come and tell you 46 have been completed. Some tell you 33 has been completed. This is the inconsistency we are talking about. He sits here and talk about numbers. 1,700 schools under trees were abolished. Today, as we said, there are communicators and their stalwarts of NDC who will come and tell you over 3,000 schools under trees were abolished. Which one is the truth? So we don't, you see, what matters is that no headmaster has come to say that fees have not been paid. What is meant for government to pay to the schools for this free SHS to sail through has not been done. That no headmaster has come out to say that. Okay. Therefore, the policy is solid and resolute and is working. He makes an argument that Form 2 and Form 3, Form 2 and Form 3,
I'll give it a chance to
he makes an argument that Form 2 and Form 3 were not part of it. You see, we told you, look, when you are coming out with a policy, you initiate it from scratch. And we've explained this over and over again. The NDC will not learn, and they will always sit here and continue to champion propaganda. The Ghanaian people who are watching me, you are from a village where I come from too as well. We're all from Miang, you are from Miang, I'm from Nantong. We're not far from each other. We're all from the northern region. And I'm saying that we know the plight of the people there. Okay. Somebody go to sell the goods just because I want my child to go to school. Today, this year, that has been eliminated. It is out. Your constituents have not, they don't have to sell their goods to get their children going to school.
Okay.
That is what
I'm grateful. Right. Right. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. You see,
education, you don't want
it is either my friend Kamal here doesn't know the history of this country, or he's failing to learn.
Well,
let me tell you, when you make reference to health insurance, come on, just go and read.
Why?
It's so simple.
Well, you want to tell me something? You parliament something there.
You see, you know it. It means you know it.
You didn't do anything.
You agree or disagree that mutual insurance was available before any
ask him whether they work out of parliament. We are talking about government.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Okay, quick. You had your 10. You see, health insurance was on pilot even before you came into government.
Did you work out of parliament or not?
We had challenges with the way you were proceeding with it. Today, you and I can see the challenges of the health insurance scheme. But trust me,
did you work
what we even did, under President Kufuor was a mutual insurance scheme, not national. It became national under President Mills. That is a matter of record that you
President Mills who shot
and let me tell you, we worked out because of the funding arrangement that you brought. Why? Health insurance, 2.5%.
I want us to do more with education.
2.5 to get fund. You have forgotten that your current president, Nana Akufo-Addo, led a demonstration.
As if you've been exposed.
Against VAT. Is that is funding for fund and health insurance? Akufo-Addo, he led a demonstration against it. Okay. And people lost their lives. You have forgotten.
Enough like this. Just tie that into it. The Conference of Heads of Private Senior High Schools, they are saying that at least 20 of them have folded up. And yesterday, the Deputy Minister told Ghanaians that there is no way government has no plans to enroll students in private schools. They are suggesting that if they are given the opportunity, they could fix the problem of 181,000 students who might not be able to go to school, and as a result, we have to do the double track system. Let me start the conversation with you before I come to Kamal. Your government have listened to these private senior high schools?
The issue here is very simple. I don't know what is wrong with this non-performing party, NPP. You have a deficit of infrastructure in accommodating 181,000 students more. Before you came into government, we had private senior high schools that were doing very, very well. What prevents you from bringing them on board? And mind you, just recently, the Minister for Finance, Mr. Kenofuriata, is on record to have stated that you must begin to do some positive discrimination of the implementation of the free senior high school. He used himself as an example and said, why? Why should me, Kenofuriata, pay? Why should the state pay for my child's education when I can pay for 10 or 20? Right? In that same vein, if you have people who have invested their money, and this is a government that prides itself as the champions of the private sector. As the champions of the private sector.
When you're talking.
As the champions of the private sector, people have invested huge sums of money to establish these schools. Just find a way of bringing them on board. Let them accommodate these excess numbers of 181,000 so that you can be able to avoid the shift system that we are calling a double track system. And let's see what happens. That we cannot do. What do you have against these private senior high schools operators? Government must engage them. We must cede the excess numbers to them. We must avoid the double tracking system because that will reduce the contact hours.
Is it possible they're going to school in September?
Right, government can still do it if they want to do it, because you know that if we go the shift system, obviously contact hours would be affected. Well, just imagine the European school. Your boy or your girl has gained admission into a senior high school, and yet he or she will be home for 3 months because his or her colleagues are in school. I mean, I can't just imagine that. You are compromising the quality of Free Senior High School. And remember that was the issue that we raised. The quality was one of the issues that we raised when they started with the implementation of the Free Senior High School. And today we are saying it. That cannot be. Kamal, we are not talking about the children of MPPO or the children of Nana Akufo-Addo. We are talking about the future of this country. Yeah. It will affect almost everybody. It will affect the child in Tambabu or Jean in Nantong constituency. You see, let's stop doing propaganda and let's fix the issues.
Okay.
Now, come on.
Nana Akomia, your communications director whilst you were in opposition had pledged that when you win power, you will do 350 senior high schools. Have you initiated action on a single one?
Okay, all right. Come on, the private schools are saying that, and this is a quote from them, you are seeing the double track as a desperate measure for a desperate situation, but I'm sorry to disappoint you. We don't see this as a desperate situation. We feel there's a way out, and we feel we have a quota to contribute. The Deputy Education Minister says, no, government had no plans like that.
You see, when a social democratic oriented party person sits this morning and refuses to distinguish between what is public and private, it's pathetic. It's sad. That pro-poor policy like the free SHS comes out to help the vulnerable, with all respect to them, to help the downtrodden, to help people out. You say a private businessman who is duly registered under the laws of Ghana to run an educational institution, who believes that I have the prowess to do marketing to get my people in school or to buy into my ideology and bring their voice to the school. It's private, for God's sake. No one is stopping them from working. Government only said that, look, I have a policy, public-oriented policy. I think it's a proper one, a social, if you like, intervention to help the people of Mother Ghana. Somebody coming from the Social Democratic Party, they claim, says
there's
that
no party called Social Democratic Party.
Well, Social Democrat.
There's no party called Social Democratic Party.
Someone who feels that they buy into, they are leftists, they are from the Socialist Forum, they are Social Democrats or whatever they call themselves, comes to tell you that you out there, you deserve to be in a private institution where fees are higher.
Come on, I think it's sad. That they have agreed that they will take what government is offering public schools.
Listen, the point is that has government put in place, or has government put in place a mechanism to absorb all these children in the tentative?
It's in the double track.
Yes.
Okay.
And government says we are doing it temporarily and making sure that by 5 years' time, all this infrastructure challenge, maybe we are done.
Is government not worried about these private schools folding up?
Why? Is the private
because private sector
the fact
being the
that they don't have
no one is saying we should not encourage the private sector to grow. That is why we create
private sector being the engine of growth.
That is why we create an environment for them to operate. Which environment is that? Go ahead. No one is stopping you. No one has said that, look, a child is qualified to go to school, then that child should not be allowed to go to a private institution. It is left for the parent or whoever to decide. No one is stopping it. But we are saying that, look, government has not considered that. Government says we have public institutions. Okay. We are going to use the public institutions to prosecute a policy that we have come out with. Then you will sit here and say we should have sat with them and say they should go ahead and do X, Y, Z. I have no problem with actually dialoguing with the private sector. We have PPP in place. Sometimes public-private partnership comes in. But the point, no, I'm only citing an instance where there could be government, public, was a private corporation. The point is that we have that already in place. We have other arrangements in place. Okay. The point is, education should not be toyed with. Okay. Let NDC, let political parties, let whoever comes on board, let us look at how we're going to get our children educated going forward.
All right. You see, Bright, when you say we shouldn't play politics with this this matter, and yet that's what we are doing.
Why?
A government that prides itself as the champions of the private sector. The private sector is the engine of growth. These are private investors who have invested their monies in senior in senior higher education, you must support them. So when you make reference to us as a party that is a socialist in nature, you know, we are not against free senior high school. You must also be questioning your background, that a government that is birthed by a party that prides itself as a believer in the private sector, today you are killing that same private sector, and we are telling you that you can avoid the double tracking system, the shift system when you engage them. This is not a matter of private PPP. No, we are not talking of infrastructure here. We are not asking you to go and combine money with anybody to build a school. Just allow them to use the existing infrastructure.
We have space.
You don't have the space. If you have the space,
go and get your children into the private institution.
But let me tell you what will happen. Right. Let me tell you what will happen.
Go get your kids into the private school.
Let me tell you what will happen in the next few years. Trust me. Just mark it on the wall. That in the next few years to come, our public senior high schools would virtually collapse. The private sector ones will thrive. Why? That is what we are experiencing today with the basic education.
As for these naysayers, they never learn.
Okay,
right.
Let's move to Tamale. Let's move to Tamale now. Now we're told that a team of military and police personnel in Tamale arrested 4 persons in connection with the chasing out and lockout of the CEO of the teaching hospital there. We're told an identification period was held. We're told that these 4 arrested were not the persons who engaged in that act. The police in Tamale are still on this thing. The regional minister is appealing to the striking workers to go back. Kamal, is the police being sincere and honest with this business of picking the persons involved in this?
Let me begin by also making an appeal to the health workers of TTH, that the Tamale Teaching Hospital, to tamper, if you like, some justice with mercy. Or to tamper, yes, of course, justice with mercy. The point is that without them, we are in trouble. We shouldn't let someone's wrong, some, if you like, young men who thought they could take the law into their own hands, okay, force us to where we are today. Indeed, we are a nation where wrongs at a point will be committed, and those wrongs would have to be corrected. And that is why I believe the government of the day has been very firm on this matter. You see, I know my brother will come in with politics and talk plenty. No, wait a minute, but let me let you understand something.
Come on.
There has never been an occasion. It's sad for me to do this, which I wouldn't like to do, but I have to do it.
You can avoid it.
There has never been. Wait a minute, please, I'll do it because of you.
You can avoid it.
There has never been a single occasion under the Mills Mahama administration where we had tax misbehaving like this and a single person arrested. No, it has never happened. And he's sitting here, he can tell me that. Meanwhile, we had such incidents to the extent that in Tamale, people had to walk into court and free people. In Tamale, he's here.
What is
under the administration? Well, I'm saying it has happened. I'm saying that Bewa youth had to go to the court, high court, and ensure that they did what they wanted.
That's not the point here.
See, the point I'm making is that I will condemn this act in no uncertainty.
Even before he condemns
equalization. It's not proper. I think what the young man did is not proper, and let's condemn it. In fact, it doesn't speak well of us. Today, that old lady coming from maybe Myang or Yendi to access health at TTH is not able to get someone to take care of her because of someone's actions or inactions. I think it's not proper. We are mandated by Article 21D of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana to embark on a peaceful demonstration if we believe that something is happening that we do not like. You seek mandate. I mean, what prevented the young men, if they so wanted to drum home a point, to have had cause to embark on a peaceful demonstration drum home a point, submit a petition to the RCC, submit a petition to the Health Directorate, whatever, if they want. They could have done this peacefully. But at the end of the day, what they did wasn't called for.
What the workers are demanding, pick these persons and prosecute them.
Yes, the police, well, the story you just read tells us that they have been, some 4 people were picked. And of course, I know that it is very sad to note that an innocent person who never committed a crime be punished. I think that would be a sad story for us to hear. That is why they said that it is better to free 100 criminals or much more criminals than incarcerating an innocent person. So clearly, if the police arrested 4 people in connection with what happened, and some health personnel, by the report, we are told that they came and couldn't identify them and couldn't say that they were.
They said they were not those.
And they were not those who did it. The police have no option than to what? Release them.
I see.
So I want to say that, look, the young men, let us be patient. Let us try to do things within the confines of the law. And the way we go about things, I think at the end of the day, is not going to augur well for us. It's not going to help us out. And I appeal once again to the health personnel, with a grace of respect, please, 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 not for the sake of these young men who did that, but for the sake of the masses, let us resort to what we can do to help the masses.
Honorable Aziz, what the staff are demanding, arrest these boys, is it difficult to do? Some have suggested that we saw them on TV, and so it shouldn't have been difficult for the police service.
You see, Bright.
You might have bolted after doing that.
You see, he's now providing excuses for that.
I said they might have bolted.
We are now providing excuses.
You are saying video, and I'm saying they might have bolted.
We are now providing excuses for that.
Oh.
That's the party's communicator, and that's where we are as a country. And you say you are from the north.
No.
People will go there today to seek medical care. Your party boys have gone to invade the place, and today people cannot even access health care, and you are defending it on TV. You are defending that matter on TV. He's defending it. You see,
I have never defended anything.
Oh, take it easy. You see, the issue of vigilantism. The incidences that we are recording today is unprecedented. And even before I came in, very typical of Kamal, he was making references to me again, when indeed you don't know what I have to say. But let us put it on record that what you people are doing today in terms of invading public offices and harassing public servants is unprecedented. And this is a government that was installed through the thumb and not the barrel of the gun. See the way you are conducting yourselves. And you have no shame and you defend these things. Look.
Oh, did I defend this here?
Bright.
No, the viewers are watching. Did I defend
Bright.
When you seek to equalize, I didn't want this discourse to go NDC MPP.
Bright.
Look at a kettle calling Fort Black.
Okay, come on. Okay, you allow Honorable Aziz to go.
I'm surprised.
But Honorable Aziz, he did not defend.
You don't have any good record when it comes to tagging.
When you see,
he knows that NDC has no good record when it comes to tagging.
You know, you've had your turn.
No, I'm only telling you.
Be disciplined.
Come on. Even arrested the
disciplined. Please allow him to make his point.
Be a gentleman this morning.
I'm being a gentleman.
Be a gentleman this morning.
Why you sit there defending this? It's wrong.
Right. When you seek to justify it by trying to do some equalization and referring to some events that happened under President Mills, President Mahama, what are you doing?
I said you never arrested a single person.
Take it easy.
Tell me the truth. Tell viewers if you have ever done that.
Your boys.
We've arrested.
Is it because the NDC didn't arrest anyone that the police have failed to arrest?
There were incidences of tagging under the administration.
I am saying that. Is it because under the NDC, no one was arrested? That's why the Tamale police is unable to arrest.
No, they have arrested.
Okay, so
I'm only telling you that they've arrested. The law is taking its course.
Okay, please,
you've had your turn.
Okay.
Be a gentleman this morning.
I'm a gentleman.
Your party boys.
I won't allow you to
your party boys
here with it.
Today we are not asking what you have done, but what you haven't done. Your party boys have attacked policemen in uniform at the Flagstaff House. Nothing happened. You have invaded courts. Nothing happened.
But they were convicted.
You invaded courts in Tamale.
You killed people. You have locked up
nothing
National Health Insurance Office.
You killed, you maimed people.
Look, your regional security coordinator in Ashanti region was chased out of office.
No, nothing happened.
Oh, be a gentleman this morning.
You locked up
office.
You went down your own.
Be a gentleman this morning.
Nothing happened.
Be a gentleman this morning.
I'm telling him, he shouldn't pretend as though they have never done anything.
You see, all these incidences that I'm referring to are matters of record that the public knows. I'm not just like manufacturing them. But I want to refer you to an event that occurred on 22nd February 2017 at the same TTH, right? And Kamal should be able to tell us what happened after that. This is a story that is credited to your sister station, City.
That what happened? That you had
22nd February 2017, NPP Kandahar boys torment Tamale Teaching Hospital CEO. The Chief Executive Officer of the Tamale Teaching Hospital, Dr. Prosper Kambon, was unable to effect his duties after his office was locked up by a popular vigilante group affiliated to the NPP, the Kandahar boys group. This happened in nothing happened to these boys in Kandahar. Nothing happened to these boys in Tamale. And so they have the guts to repeat same today. And look, Dad, I'm telling you, go and check. Even properties. Equipment belongs to you see.
You cannot
it is deliberate. It is deliberate. It is deliberate. It is deliberate. Equipment belonging to the regional coordinating council in Tamale.
You are very
today
black.
is in the possession of some of these Kandahar boys. And they use them to do works, and they take those monies, and we are aware.
I think the law should take.
We can't tolerate this.
Do their work. We are not going to.
And you justify this on television, come on.
I never justify.
And you justify this thing.
I condemn.
See what the boys are doing. It's embarrassing and shameful.
Aziz is a member of parliament for.
I think it's unfortunate. Tagri is not the best.
And Kamadin Abdullahi is a member of the NPP team. Gentlemen, grateful for your time. Stay with us. There is more on the show.
Let's have an exclusive conversation with Anita DeSoso of the NDC. Ma'am, good morning. Welcome. How are you doing?
Fine.
You look good.
Thank you.
How have you been?
By His grace, I'm fine.
And how's the campaign going?
Fine.
It's going fine.
I've been to 3 regions.
3 regions already. Yes. What was the response like?
It was good.
Okay.
But before we start with the conversation, I would like to say good morning to your cherished viewers.
Right.
And also thank you very much for having me here.
Pleasure is always ours. So you've been to 3 regions. Where?
I was at Eastern Region on Monday. Okay. They had a meeting with the Council of Elders.
Okay.
So I took the opportunity to go and introduce myself to some of the delegates. Then in the afternoon, Greater Accra also had a meeting with their Council of Elders.
Okay.
Then Tuesday, Volta Region also had the same program, so I was there on Tuesday morning.
Okay.
So far, so good. Yeah, because I need to introduce myself to the Council of Elders and also the party executives first before going to the constituencies.
Right.
So this is what I've started.
This is what you've done, and the response has been good so far.
Very good, because they know who Anita is.
They know who you are. But you are up in the chairmanship.
Yeah.
And then now you want to be what, organizer? Why the
I'm
swap?
not a chairman, but I'm the vice chair.
Yes, vice chair. Yes, but you want to be an organizer now.
Yes.
Why?
Thank you very much. You know, in this world, we all have our talent.
Okay.
And I started as a party agent, women organizer at the branch. Then also at the constituency level, deputy organizer.
Okay.
Then 2008 at the national level as deputy propaganda secretary. Then to the national women organizer, and now national vice chairperson.
Okay.
To be a vice person is a privilege. But I want to use my talent. And my talent is to mobilize people or to organize people. So that's why I've decided if our dear brother is not going anymore, then I have to take the opportunity to vie for that
position. Are you suggesting that while you were first vice chairperson, you were not able to mobilize properly, you were not given the opportunity, or you didn't function fully? What is it?
No, I was given the opportunity, but you know...
Did you function fully?
Not as I want.
Okay, so on a scale of 0 to 100, what will be your rating?
Oh, I can say maybe 70 or 72.
But that's good. 70 is good. Why don't you stay?
I want to use my talent as I want it to be.
Okay.
You know, that's what I want to
do. Yeah. What talent are we talking about?
You know, if you are an organizer, one, you need to know how to mobilize people.
Okay.
You need to know how to assign roles to the people who are under you. You also need to lobby in order to educate the people, have programs that will impact on their lives. Because you can't always rely on your party to give you financial support before you can also help the others who are around you.
Yeah, Boatinjan is coming back. Does it send shivers down your spine?
So far, I think there are about 6 men.
6
they know
men.
who Anita is. So,
are you scared?
Never.
Are
they
you
know
pressured?
me. No.
You are not at all.
I'm a woman of substance with a political experience, so they know who they are coming to contest with. Even when they heard my name, they were shocked. They never thought. They never thought, and I'm coming.
You're coming with full vim. So you're sure of victory?
If God says so.
If God says so. What is your relationship with the Rawlinses now?
They are my parents.
They
They are still my parents.
They are still your parents.
But I think you also at times do have disagreement with your parents, aren't you? So they are still my parents.
They are still your parents. So the vituperations, your son, you know, going at them, you going at them, the Samson and Delilah analogy and all of that.
I don't want to comment on that.
Well, I mean, your people are interested in it.
I don't want to comment on that
anymore. When we put out the poster
anymore.
that we were going to interview you, it was some of the issues that came up. Now they have heard your vision and mission, but they would want to know what your relationship
I don't want to comment on that. I don't want to comment on that.
You don't want Mr.
You know,
Rollins
that's
to
why I
respond
posed
to
a question to you.
Okay.
Because you also do have disagreement with your parents.
Right.
So after that, you have to stop it
Okay.
and move on. Yeah.
So you have patched up with them. Do you call Mr. Rollins like you used to do? Does he call you?
No.
You don't.
That's not between two of us. You know, as a father and a child, you need to have some respect for each other.
Right.
You need to have a gap. So he's not someone that I call. No.
Okay.
No.
But will you visit him to announce your candidature to him?
If the time comes, we'll take the decision.
But you've been to Greater Accra. Mr. Rollins lives in Greater Accra.
No.
You've not gone to him yet.
No, they brought all the constituency executives to meet the Council of State.
Okay.
So I took advantage.
Okay, advantage.
Yes.
But when have you planned to go see Mr. Rollins?
I have not taken decision
You
yet.
have not taken a
Yes,
decision
please.
yet.
Yes.
So what should we expect from an Anita Disoso as organizer of the NDC? Apart from mobilizing the people,
Yeah.
what is the one major thing you want to do which will be your legacy?
Thank you very much. I would like to give, let's say, an example of what I've done so that people understand where I'm coming from.
Okay.
When I was the National Women Organizer, I took the decision to train more women so that in future they can also be recognized.
Right.
You know, women are the majority, but when we get into politics, there are only few positions that normally women do take. So what happened was with the UN Women Conferences, I do send some of the regional women organizers constituency to US for training. Some of them have also gone to Brazil, UK, then in Africa, Angola, and other places. But in Ghana, IEA, Abantu, Frederick Egbe Foundation, they have all assisted me to train the women. And I can tell you some of them are also in the positions that is favorable to the party.
Right.
Also at Parliament, from 2010 to 2014, we're having only 5 women, MPs, female, from outside. So I went to them, we were able to mobilize and train them and train our women to assist them at the constituency level. Right. You know, normally men think that we are our own enemies. I don't believe in that. We are not enemies. But
what are women?
Women, we love each other, but we don't forgive easily. So people thought that we are enemies. No, we don't forgive easily.
You hold on to things?
For some time. Not for some time. You know, some women would like to say, I'm sorry, but some of them will also keep on for some time before they will say sorry. So men are trying to take advantage of that we are our own enemies.
Some think you are a hothead.
Who?
Some of the people out there, they think you're a hothead and that you are not easy to deal with. You have a certain temper and you don't lie low. And that is not good for an organizer. What do you say to them?
Thank you very much. I'm a principled woman and also bold. At the same time, lively. Not until you come closer to me, you will know who Anita Disoso is.
Okay.
Because in politics, people assume it's men's game.
Right.
So going in, you also have to learn certain things.
Okay.
So that's Anita.
Okay. Right. That's Anita. I thank you very much indeed. You said that Nana Konadu needs to pray for the husband like Delilah did for Samson. Are you praying for Mr. Rollins as well?
No comment.
You don't want to comment? You don't pray?
I do. Even as I'm talking to you now, I'm meditating
you are
with
meditating.
him. Yes.
But
so
you won't pray for Mr. Rollins to help the chains?
Not only him. Not only him.
Okay.
Even my own enemies, I have to pray for them because they need to live to see who I will
Will you pray for
become.
Mr. Rollins? Help Mrs. Rollins pray
I've
for
been
Mr.
praying for everybody because
specifically
even
Mr. Rollins too. Do you pray for him?
Oh, he's my dad. He's my dad. Don't you have, at times you have arguments with your parents, don't you?
Yes.
Whether I like it or not, they are part of me.
You have arguments with them.
Yes.
And you
so
pray for them.
I'm still praying. And
praying.
I know one day the elders of the party will take opportunity to bring them back to us. I cannot do it alone.
I see
but if
Ketia says the apology you offered, the NDC owes the Rollins is no apology. And that you were not sent to apologize.
I don't want to comment on that because I've reacted to it already.
Okay.
I've done
what
that
did you
already.
Say?
You know, there are certain decisions that he also takes without consulting the party.
Okay.
There are certain decisions because as I'm talking to you now, if Fanda says, Esiedun Ketia, come to my house today, he has to go. He won't have permission from us.
Right.
So I think as national vice, I also have.
You also had the right to ask.
Yes. Because as national vice, if people don't trust in me, they will not vote for me.
Right.
So I don't need to go to him for certain decisions to be taken.
Right.
Because I'm vice, though he's administrative, but he's under me.
Right.
Right. So I have every right to say I'm sorry.
To say I'm sorry on behalf of the executive.
Yes.
But when you said you were sorry and Mr. Rollins, rubbished the apology, how did you feel? You were
on the platform.
Yes, you were doing a good deed.
Let me tell you, I was so happy because if you watch carefully, he mentioned my name 3 or 4 times. But before June 4th, at the National Theatre, he promised of giving us some boom speeches.
Right.
So when the opportunity came, the national chairman was not there, the general secretary was not there, so I was called. So I just told my colleagues that, what am I going to say? I'm going to talk about unity. And they said, fine. So I went and spoke about unity.
Okay.
But when he came on the stage, he mentioned my name about 3 to 4 times.
Right.
He didn't boom.
Right.
So I said, oh God, thank you for using
Your name
me.
is the savior, right?
Yes.
Anita is also there. She's gunning for the organizer position of the NDC. And, well, she says you should vote for her because she's a unifier. She knows how to gather people and she won't wait for resources to work. Sports is up next with Yao Fosulabi. Stay with us here on New Day. Welcome back to TV3NEWDAY. Now, you know how I love to talk about women. Women who are excelling in their trade, who are applying their trade with great felicity of style. 3 Extra, an arm of Media Generous, put up a very special initiative that will highlight women in a very special, on a very special platform. We call it Finding, and it's talking about women, their careers, and how they got where they have gotten to, those who want to shoot straight up onto the pinnacle. Take a look at this. When we return, we'll have a conversation exclusively here on New Day.
Things that I pursue and the things that I think are important and stuff like that. Right. So when I moved here, I said, if I were to go back to school, then maybe I would actually study the things that I like now. But I guess there's a discipline that comes with it, learning to put papers out on time and deadlines and all of that. So it kind of shapes you. Both my parents are very liberal. Whatever you want to do, if they believe in giving it a try. So we've started maybe 100 businesses. We've registered so many businesses in my household. It's not funny. Like we have so many, but because sometimes you wake up and I was just telling my friend that I wanted to be a blogger because I saw a fashion blogger. Right. Because I saw Gabi Fresh. I opened up an Instagram page. Wow. I have an email for it and everything. And then sometimes the vim dies. Right. But one thing that we're having a conversation about was my mom was like, sometimes she's really happy we don't listen to their suggestions and stuff, because you know, of course they want your best interest at heart. They have your best interest at heart. So when I said I was going to open a tea bar, my mom wasn't really, she didn't say no, but she was like, tea bar, you know, in Ghana we only know tea and Milo Milo and milk. Yeah. About what kind of tea are you? And I said, you don't worry, wait, you'll see. And she's like, if you believe it's gonna work, give it a try. So she always makes her every time she says don't do something, she'll say, anyway, if she had listened to what I had said about that, she wouldn't have done what she wanted to do. So I just feel like sometimes it's important to have people who support what you're going to do.
So that's Ajua Menu out there. She's my guest this morning with the CEO of T-Bar. Trying to get intrinsic with her. Ajua, welcome and thank you very much for joining us. Also, Emmanuel Ejapon is the head of a production at MG Digital. IMS, yes. We call him here. IMS, good morning. How are you doing?
Hello, good morning.
Great. So this is a very wonderful initiative. I'll start with you. What is the reason behind this? You tell me.
Okay, so we wanted to do a documentary on women, and realized that almost every angle had already been done before. So at that point, Ajua had just come to Ghana from London, and you know she was talking to me about how she wanted to just start all over here in Ghana because she was moving permanently here. Okay. I was thinking, well, that would be interesting. It would be interesting to talk to women who have also done similar, who have lived elsewhere, and starting like their lives here. Right. Talk to them and let's film that. Let's see you talk to them, ask them questions. So basically, what I did was I didn't even let her meet these people prior to the documentary. Okay. I didn't give her any information about them. I told her not to do any research on them. Just get on set and ask them.
You put her on the hot seat.
Exactly.
So her guests are on the hot seat.
Exactly.
And she is on the hot seat.
Yeah, so is she. Exactly. So she gets there and she has to ask them questions that she wants to find out. Okay. So we want it to be as realistic as possible and not make it a
pre-produced kind of thing, plenty preparations.
Exactly.
So you come to the table with your own story. Yes. Then you're finding out about the story of others. Yes. How does it feel?
It was exciting, first of all, but it was also very daunting because, as Eames just said, we started shooting, I think, pretty much 2 weeks or 3 weeks after I had arrived in Ghana. Okay. Everything was still pretty new to me. I am Ghanaian, but I wasn't born here. I grew up in Europe for most of my life. I had, suddenly decided that I wanted to come back home, and I took the leap, jumped into the deep end, got pushed in even deeper with Eames. So it was really a discovery journey for me.
Are you liking it so far?
Yes. I was talking to Eames and I was saying that it was my six month anniversary about 3 days ago. Okay. So I've been in Ghana for 6 months now, and it's had its challenges.
For some of the women you've spoken to, business, market leaders and all of that, what is that single striking thing that you could draw, through all of them?
I think being confident in yourself. Okay. So knowing what you can do and going for it. Knowing what you want to do, knowing that you can do it, and going for it. I think that was the transcending theme throughout all of my interviews.
Eames, so you want to focus on women. There are equally men who want to be entrepreneurs, young men who want to be brought up.
Yes.
Why have you left them behind?
So the idea initially was to do this for International Women's Day. Okay. And then after shooting the first episode, we realized that this could be bigger than just one episode a one-off thing just for that day. So we were thinking of just spreading it across the entire 2018. So we're releasing one every single month and having discussions based on each episode and the themes that run through each of them.
So tell me, I'm curious, what would the discussions be held? You publish these on what? TV? Yes. And on YouTube. And on YouTube. Tell me the channel.
All right, and so we have Twitter and Facebook as well. Okay. And what happens is we try. So right now we're trying to start a conversation about what people who have left their lives outside Ghana, coming here, to start afresh. What have they learned?
Okay.
What are they doing with regards to that?
How do they find their feet?
Yeah,
how do they find fit in again?
Exactly.
Okay, so tell me the addresses for YouTube. Twitter,
on YouTube, just search for 3XTRA. T3.
Okay.
The number 3
XTRA, like some T extra.
Yes. The extra. Yes, and just follow us on the TV3's social media platforms on Facebook and on Twitter. So that's where we're having the conversation.
Ajwa, okay, let me come to you again. So you have come, put into the hot water.
Yes.
You're liking it. Yeah. What's the next step for the many women that would want you to have a conversation with them? What would be the next step? What's the overarching vision?
So for me personally, I think the bigger picture is just to make myself as useful to my country as possible. I think that Ghana is starting to appreciate the arts a little bit more, and I'm a writer, so I would really like to contribute to the industry as much as I possibly can. In terms of inspiring other women, I just would love to be involved in initiatives that allow women to find their identities and give women the opportunity to gain the skills to really develop themselves and grow into their own, so to say. And you know, whether it's opening a restaurant like T-Bar or becoming your traditional lawyer, engineer, doctor, that's also fine, or becoming an actress, a model, whatever it is that you want to do. I just want to inspire women to go out and be that, even when it seems scary. A little bit like I've done when I carried myself and I just decided to get on a plane and come to Ghana with no plan whatsoever.
You didn't have a plan when you decided to come home?
Nothing at all.
So why were you coming home?
Do you know what the funny thing is? I came to Ghana over last Christmas for a holiday, and not knowing, unbeknownst to my mother, who had a lot of objections, she didn't know that I actually came to do recon work. I came to see, because I hadn't been to Ghana in at least about 7 years before that. So I came to see, what is home like. I knew Ghana was always home, but I wanted to reacclimatize. I got here and I realized that this is still where I feel home the most. Like I wake up and it's just, I just feel like...
When you approach these women to interview them, they don't know you, don't know them, you're meeting them for the first time, they set up the cameras. Do they think you are Brofosem and you have brought UKization of things?
I'm not actually...
And that you don't know how the sun feels hot here and you're asking me all these questions. Do you know what it means to be an entrepreneur?
I'm not... Actually, that's a good question. I haven't really asked, my interviewees how they perceive me per se. But in general, I do get that a lot of, I dread your Brunio, that kind of a thing. And I have to fight it, like actively fight it, because one of the things that I really don't like is that, being put in that label.
That bracket.
I am very Ghanaian. My accent might not be as Ghanaian as others, but I love Ghanaian food. I love speaking Twi when I don't have to speak English. I love everything that
everything
it means to be Ghanaian.
Okay, let's end the conversation with you. So when is it starting? Finding
is already on YouTube. There'll be a new episode every Friday, every first Friday of every month. So we've already uploaded the first episode. It's currently on.
It's there. So if I go onto YouTube and I look for 3 extra, I'll find it.
You see Finding.
Super.
Dedo. So this month's episode is Finding Dedoazu. Next month I don't know if I should say.
Don't say. Don't say. Wait. Let's finish watching this. Thank you very much, Emmanuel Japan. He's the head of digital production at MG Digital. Thank you very much for joining us, Imps. And also Ajwa Menu is the writer. She says she's Ghanaian. She doesn't like to be called Obroni. And our complexions are almost the same. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll be talking folklore here on New Day. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's talk about folklore as I promised earlier. We're being joined by two very fantastic Ghanaians who are very, very dedicated and poised to promote our folklore. to international heights. Nana Adjoa Adobia Asante is the acting executive director. My own brother, poet and wordsmith, Nana Asase, is a member of the governing board. Gentlemen, lady, welcome. Good morning. Good morning. We'll be joined on the phone line later by a historian who will share some of the tidbits with us, some of the things that you've been seeing but you don't know perhaps. We'll tell you the historical antecedents to them. But Nana Adjoa, we're celebrating folklore in Ghana. Yeah. We have known folklore, but perhaps we have not taken it serious. Why are we taking it serious this time around?
We're taking it serious this time around because we have realized that there's the need to focus on our folklore because it contributes to the development of the nation. The minister inaugurated our board in November. Okay. And as part of our mandate, she told us strongly that there has not been a board in existence for the past 10 years.
That's true.
Yes. So, but she knows that folklore is a very important aspect of our being as Ghanaians, and as such, there's a need to revive it. Okay. So it is upon the inauguration of this board that the focus on folklore has been improved, and we have hit the road running, as I must say, to ensure that the fact that folklore is very important to our even our GDP should be something that we should focus on.
Nana, you're a poet, very well known across the globe. But when we talk folklore, poetry comes, music comes as well, and all of those things. You are a governing board member. Yes. It does appear to me that storytelling back in the day compared to now doesn't exist. People will go onto YouTube and watch a video as opposed to sitting with their grandparents to hear the story. What will change with this board?
Good morning, Johnny, and good morning to your viewers. I think that the birth of this board is at a very critical time, very crucial time in Ghana's history. You realize that for a long time, World Folklore Day, for instance, had not been marked in Ghana.
Right.
And so in getting this board up and running, to set a start point, you know, on your mask, set pin.
Right.
To set the pin point. We are celebrating.
That's another folklore there, right there.
We are celebrating World Folklore Day in Ghana, and it's going to be an annual thing.
Right.
It's actually 22nd of August every year, first of all. So this time around, we're having a 3-day event, 20th, 21st, 22nd, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, to ensure that we create enough awareness and give ourselves a start point so that we go on a national outreach. We've already started gathering data on things like traditional symbols and Canadian craft symbols. Ghana have these other regions, so research is ongoing. Herman Hesse, the historian, you're going to call later. So we are working with a lot of agencies which have already been in existence, the CNCs, to ensure that we have presence in almost all the regions.
How do we ensure that, for example, the youngsters in school get to tarry along as we go?
Fantastic. You realize that there are a lot of publications that will eventually be born under the watch of this board. Right. If you watch these Know Your Facts, these folkloric and historical facts,
the artworks been going around.
Before this, you mentioned we could actually have these things published. We could actually have the Ministry of Education, which is something ongoing now. Inter-school competitions, and actually a discussion to have folkloric education embedded in the syllabi across the various stages of.
Absolutely.
You know,
let's go on to the telephone line. We've been joined by Professor Herman Hesse. Prof, good morning. Thank you very much for your time. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. But then, unfortunately, I'm not yet a professor. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Wisconsin in Madison in the U.S.
Right. So we're celebrating Folklore Day. I've seen some of the artworks go around talking about Impoto and the rest. If you look at the totality of our history, would you say that we're making progress in the preservation of our folkloric elements?
Yeah, thank you very much. In as much as I would like to say we are making progress, the reality is otherwise. Because even growing up, in this country in the early 90s, some of our, English textbooks that we used in schools, were quite rich in the sort of, folk stories that, they had. But it seems these days we don't really have a good cultural content in our education system. And not only in the education system, but in the media. There's, I mean, by the far side, you know, was taken off air, you know, probably more than 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
And we don't have anything. Like, kids will tune into TV and all they see is, you know, American cartoons or foreign stuff. And there's hardly anything portraying our culture. And, yeah, and so,
I see.
Yeah, there's nothing really, you know, going on.
Speaking of which, in telling our stories, our towns and villages have names, and these names have meanings. Any that comes to mind immediately?
Sorry, could you say that again?
I'm saying that our towns and villages, for example, as part of our folkloric structure, have names, and these names have meanings. Any that comes to mind, for example, Tesano or Achimota, or what comes to mind now?
Yeah. So if you look at the Accra Plains, I mean, they had, you know, hundreds of villages, and many of these villages were, you know, slave villages. You know, usually the prominent merchants will live on the seaboard, so to Accra and the other areas on the coast. So the places you mentioned, yeah, they usually tend to be slave villages or plantation villages. So Achimota is a contraction of a sentence. Achimota.
Achimota. You don't disclose a person's identity.
You don't disclose one's origin.
Right.
You know, traditionally, we are very sensitive to disclosing the several origins of people. You don't do that because that will break up the family.
I see. Interesting. Prof, so as we mark the day, what will be the way forward? Forgive me, I keep calling you Prof because perhaps I'm seeing that happening in an also distant future. As we mark this day and finally, the way forward, what would be your single compelling advice to government on the preservation of our folkloric ideas, and symbols, and stories, and songs? What would you advise government to do?
Yeah, I mean, government should just invest in folkloric education. History should be made a compulsory subject. I mean, in secondary school, history is an elective subject, and it should be made compulsory. And also, the tourism market is worth, you know, about $2 billion if I'm quoting it right. So where's all the tourism money going? Government needs to reinvest in our history, in preserving heritage sites. And it seems in this country we don't really care about our heritage, whether it's you know, oral stories, whether it's our architectural heritage, you know, and we seem to really lack a sense of history.
All right. I thank you very much, Herman Esse. Grateful for your time this morning. We're grateful. Herman Esse is a historian and he's joined us here. Let me come to you, Nana Joa, now. So there's digitization. Back in the day, when we were growing up, I'm sure we'll do Omohe, we'll do Stay, we'll do Abating, we'll play Owari, we'll do Namoye Lawi, and all of those things. We don't do them anymore. The kids are playing video games. They are writing essays. They are Skyping, tweeting, WhatsApping. How do we do a U-turn?
Yes, so the idea, or what we need to do is, as you said, digitize these games. And there are a lot of young individuals who are doing this. There's so many that are, you know, now transforming our traditional games into video games. These are one of the ways in which you can do that.
Right.
However, you know, as...
do we have a timeline to this?
No, they're actually in existence. Okay. So we have started partnering with some of them in order to increase the reach of these games. Okay. Yes, and as Nana said, we intend to partner with schools. We're working closely with the Ghana Mission to UNESCO to inculcate folklore into the curriculum, but also to have folklore clubs in schools as a start. So this is where you go to play video games where Yasantua would be, a character in the game, for instance. So these are some of the ways in which we help fuse the old with the new in order to move with our folklore.
Interesting. Now, so we're going to have a party on the 22nd, folklore party, but 20th, 21st, 22nd. What time are we starting? Give me the venues quickly.
So 9 a.m. on 20th, that's Monday, Du Bois Center, that's the official launch. There's a symposium on branding Ghana, really through our folkloric, reflections. Right. And then there's an Eat Ghana good brunch or lunch. Please come. All the foods you've ever thought of, probably heard of, never tasted, come and try it. Right. Strictly Ghanaian food.
Strictly Ghanaian
and
food.
It's free.
Oh, I see.
So from 9 a.m.
Amando.
So as we break, we eat. We have discussions, share ideas. Tuesday, it's slated to be at St. Kizito Primary School.
That's Nima.
Nima.
Okay.
Just close to the roundabout.
Right.
Storytelling, spelling bee in the local languages, traditional games, songs, fun. We're just there to have fun with the kids. And then on Wednesday, that's 22nd, which is World Folklore Day program. We'll be at the National Theatre, also at 9 a.m. There's an international fair, folkloric fair, to exhibit from different countries, different embassies, but the focus will be on Ghana. And then getting towards evening. We are inviting our people. Poets, performers, please come there on 22nd, Wednesday. There's an open mic, there's a big stage, there's enough to eat, there's enough to drink.
Show your talent and show your skill.
Let us have fun and have conversations beyond that on how we can push our folklore somewhere.
Nana Ajwa Adubia Asante is an acting executive director, or is the acting executive director of the Folklore Board, and Nana Sass is a poet, is also a member, a board member of the board. But Nana, you can't come here without yes, because folklore, poetry is a very intrinsic part of it. So take us away. Campaigning some kakra.
Agu.
Amen.
Agu.
Amen.
Agu.
Amen.
Sumina so chemfresi wenyini ache. Nanso wo behwe na sese de onwene no natiase. Nti obo ade de me fra no bofo therefore danfo adu kwaku okumokuku seku pataku. Oyonkondofo aye pa de pe hunu a ehia no. Meneso no obo so no gya so no twa so no ta so no hia so no kire so no meneso no nimu no wan hram ankesiri wan sira kire nsuo. Timpani company nsem mofra beto na nsem. Just your trading and Ponfeno.
And there you have it there. So beautiful, isn't it? And you are at home teaching your children how to speak Irish. Happy birthday to you, Kamala Kluche, aka Cat Master. And to you, Harriet Asumda as well. It's your birthday. You're rocking the red with Kamala Kluche. And good morning to you, Honorable Abla Jifa Gomashi, former Deputy Minister for Tourism, Culture, and all the issues in between. When are we bringing By the Fireside back? I thought I was going to ask you that.
Yes, we are actually bringing it back, and we're starting on the 21st. We'll have a storytelling session, and then we're going to revive the By the Fireside.
You should look for Honorable Abla Jifa Gomashi. You should look for her.
She's actually coming for the launch.
She is coming for it, but you should look for her. She was producing and directing everything.
Okay.
So you should look for her.
Yes. I mean, she's coming for the launch. I'm in touch with her. That's
what I mean. For the launch, there she will come. Look for her to come and don't waste that.
We'll do that.
A very interesting thing is this: when you do the same thing the same way, you get the same results.
Right.
So it's going to be the By the Fireside concept, but enhanced, improved to be appealing to this day and age.
And that's all we've got for you today, Thursday. We'll be back again on Friday. It's going to be much more exciting. But as I said earlier, I have 5,000 friends on Facebook. We're looking for 15,000 to sort Richmond come out for his surgery. If all of you send 3 CDs each, we would have gotten 15,000. The WhatsApp number or the mobile money number registered in the name of Richmond Accom is 054 905 0260. That's 054 905 0260. Save a life. Have a good morning.